Deep in a grand forest, sunlight streamed through the tall trees, painting golden patterns on the soft ground below. Birds sang from the branches while butterflies danced above the colorful wildflowers along the stream. This was a peaceful kingdom where every creature had its place and every day felt safe and calm. The rabbits hopped freely through the meadow, nibbling on fresh grass without a single worry in the world. Nearby, the gentle deer walked gracefully between the trees, their spotted coats glowing in the warm light. Up in the branches, playful monkeys swung from tree to tree, chattering and chasing each other with joy. Every animal respected the ancient order of the forest, living together in harmony as they always had. But beyond the edge of this paradise, not every creature shared in such happiness and belonging. At the very edge of the forest, where the trees grew thin and the ground turned dry, lived a lonely donkey. The donkey was thin and scrawny, with dull gray fur and big droopy ears that hung low over his sad eyes. Every morning he wandered the dusty paths alone, searching for bits of dry grass to eat. Whenever the donkey tried to walk into the forest, the other animals would turn away and ignore him completely. The rabbits would scatter the moment they saw him coming, as if he did not even deserve to be near them. The deer raised their heads and walked away proudly, leaving the donkey standing alone on the empty path. Each rejection stung deeply, and the donkey lowered his head in sadness, feeling smaller than ever before. More than anything in the world, he wished to be powerful and respected, just like the mighty lion. One afternoon, the donkey wandered further than usual, following a narrow trail he had never taken before. The path led him through thick bushes and past twisted old trees until he reached a small, quiet clearing. There, lying flat on the ground among the fallen leaves, was something strange and golden brown. The donkey stepped closer carefully and discovered it was a large lion's skin with a thick, dark mane still attached. He sniffed it cautiously, his ears twitching with curiosity, circling the skin again and again. The donkey stared at the lion skin for a long moment, and a wild idea began forming inside his mind. His sad, droopy eyes slowly grew wide with excitement as he imagined what he could become with this treasure. For the first time in his life, the donkey felt a spark of hope glowing deep inside his lonely heart. With trembling legs, the donkey carefully lifted the lion's skin and began draping it over his own thin body. The heavy mane fell around his face, while the golden fur covered his back and sides almost perfectly. The donkey in disguise stood still for a moment, feeling the strange new weight resting upon his shoulders. He walked slowly toward the stream nearby, each step feeling different, heavier, and somehow grander. At stream bank, the donkey in disguise looked down into the calm, clear water and saw his own reflection staring back. Instead of a sad, skinny donkey, a fierce and powerful lion gazed up at him from beneath the surface. The donkey in disguise could hardly believe his own eyes, stepping back in shock and then leaning closer again. A rush of confidence flooded through him, and he lifted his head high like a true king of the forest. The donkey in disguise took a deep breath and marched boldly into the heart of the forest for the first time. His steps were slow and heavy, imitating the powerful stride of a real lion walking through his kingdom. The forest seemed different now, the trees parting before him as if welcoming their mighty ruler home. Ahead on the path, the rabbits were playing happily in the meadow, completely unaware of what was coming. The moment the rabbits spotted the lion figure emerging from the shadows, their eyes went wide with pure terror. The rabbits screamed silently and scattered in every direction, tumbling over each other in desperate panic. The donkey in disguise watched them flee and felt a thrill of power he had never experienced before in his life. A wicked grin spread beneath the lion mane as he realized that finally everyone would fear and respect him. News of the strange new lion spread through the forest like wildfire, reaching every corner by evening. The deer whispered warnings to each other and moved deeper into the forest, trembling with every step. The monkeys climbed to the highest branches, too afraid to come down, watching the path below with wide eyes. Wherever the donkey in disguise walked, the path ahead would clear instantly as animals rushed to escape. He strutted proudly through the widest trails, and no creature dared to stand in his way or question him. The donkey in disguise chose the best resting spot under the tallest tree, a place no one challenged him for. The forest that once rejected him now bowed before him, and he soaked in every moment of false glory. But respect born from fear is never real, and the donkey in disguise was too blinded by power to see the truth. Days passed, and the donkey in disguise grew bolder and more arrogant with each sunrise in the forest. He no longer walked carefully, but stomped through the forest, shaking the ground beneath his heavy steps. The donkey in disguise chased the rabbits just for amusement, laughing silently as they fled in pure terror. He blocked the water stream so the deer could not drink, watching them bow their heads and walk away thirsty. The monkeys threw down fruit as offerings, and the donkey in disguise ate greedily without a trace of gratitude. The once joyful forest became silent and fearful, every creature living under the shadow of a false king. The donkey in disguise had completely forgotten he was just a thin, sad donkey hiding beneath borrowed skin. He truly believed he had become the lion, and that dangerous belief would soon lead to his downfall. While every animal trembled in fear, one old fox watched the so-called lion from a safe, hidden distance. The wise fox had lived in this forest longer than anyone and had seen the real lion many times before. Something about this new lion troubled him deeply. The walk was clumsy and the posture was all wrong. The wise fox noticed the gray hooves poking out beneath the golden skin and a thin donkey tail dragging behind. His sharp, narrow eyes studied every detail as the donkey in disguise strutted past without noticing him hiding. The wise fox smiled his sly, knowing smile, for he had already solved the mystery of this strange, false lion. But the wise fox was patient and wise. He did not rush to reveal the truth, choosing to wait for the right moment. He followed the donkey in disguise silently through the shadows, knowing the disguise would crumble on its own. That evening, the donkey in disguise stood on a hill overlooking the entire forest, drunk on his own false power. He felt so mighty and invincible that he wanted to roar, to let the whole world hear his voice. The donkey in disguise threw his head back, opened his mouth wide, and let out a sound with all his strength. But what echoed through the forest was not a powerful roar. It was the loud, ugly bray of a common donkey. The entire forest went silent. Every animal froze in place, and confusion filled the air like thick fog. The wise fox stepped out calmly from the shadows, looking up at the donkey in disguise with a knowing, steady gaze. One by one, the rabbits, the deer, and the monkeys peeked out from their hiding places, eyes wide with realization. The truth had finally spoken louder than any disguise, and there was no taking it back ever again. The donkey in disguise stumbled backward in panic as every animal in the forest began moving toward him slowly. The rabbits, the deer, and the monkeys surrounded him, no longer afraid, staring with anger and disappointment. In his desperate scramble, the lion's skin slipped off and fell to the ground, revealing the donkey underneath. There he stood, thin and trembling, the same sad gray donkey he had always been, with nowhere left to hide. The wise fox shook his head slowly, his eyes filled not with anger but with quiet pity for the foolish donkey. The donkey lowered his head in deep shame, turned away from the crowd, and began walking toward Forest Edge. He disappeared down the same dusty, lonely path where his story began. leaving the lion skin behind in the dirt. The forest returned to peace once more, carrying a timeless lesson that no disguise can hide who you truly are.